Hi everyone. As promised in my post this morning, I thought I'd feel into talking a little more deeply into healing Hertz frequencies and why I feel Spirit gifted me a dream to start learning sound healing and how it affects your consciousness, how it affects your energy levels, how it affects your thought processes, how it affects your emotional state, which in turn then affects how you manifest things. It literally affects everything. I'd like you to think about yourself as a bundle of moving energy. All you have is energy. You are just little light particles moving around in a denser state. That's what matter is. Hi, how are you? It's great to have you here. And why has sound healing made this immediate resurgence at an age where Spirit is waking people up? I mean, that's the terminology. I was gifted a dream just at the start of the lockdown. We were actually locked in a beautiful country called Chile in South America. I was just there having an amazing holiday with my husband and they locked us in. Long story short, I'm not really a dreamer in Sydney. I mean, last night I did have a few dreams, but I had a powerful sound circle last night. But usually I hear things. But in this dream that I had in Chile then, I was shown the crystal singing bowls and I was having a pure divine conversation with the divine or with some type of ethereal beings that were leading me to this. And I remember reasoning with them in my dreams. I was speaking. I could hear the conversation. It was like my body was just witnessing what my spirit was up to, if that makes sense. And I was saying, do I have to? That seems a little weird. Like, I've seen them before. I was never really into it, you know, although I was a big believer in energy and prayer and miracles. I've experienced a lot. And this is what Spirit said to me. You don't have to, but if you choose to, it'll make what you're doing much faster and more efficient. And I have to testify, this is so truthful. Because our DNA shifts with the use of these ancient Solfeggio frequencies. There's nothing new under the sun. These aren't New Age inventions. That word, that terminology, New Age actually, it's just old things repackaged. And all of the ancients, including King David, used to use sound healing to get rid of demons. If you don't believe me, you can check that out for yourself. And he was called upon by the elite that were trying to rule in a loving state. Not saying all elite do that, but to shift any entities that were attracted to them. And so sound healing helps so many things. I've got pages written here. We'll just see how much I get through. But sound healing promotes mental states of relaxation and attentiveness. It boosts your brain waves. So we're working with different brainwave states. And if you'd like to learn more of this, just DM me, because I love nothing more than teaching you how to do sound healing, because sound healing is an intuitive way of playing music or sound, frequencies, healing sound frequencies that everybody should be empowered to do. There's no guru here with this ancient technology. Of course, you can go to somebody else for a quick fix, that works. But I would love to teach you, to empower you to shift your own energy field, not just your own energy field, but the energy within your home, the energy for your family, the energy for your friends, the energy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would love to hear from you. The energy for anyone that you meet, actually, because if you're using these incredible tools daily or even weekly, you're going to be vibrating at a higher state. So it affects your memory as well. In a lot of my trauma, I have no memory of my childhood. My family actually tease me about that. They'll say, remember when? I'll be like, nah, because when we're living in fight, flight, which is low vibrational, we have trouble breathing, we have trouble centering, we have trouble recalling things, we're living on edge, we're often overworking because we're so accustomed to like this running or keeping ourselves busy. So because you actually heal in the stillness, and this is where sitting in circle is so powerful, and it doesn't have to be with a huge group. In fact, it's very efficient with just a few. Why? Because of energy. Where there is unity, you're creating like a portal vortex. And the ancients knew this. To sit in a circle is to sit in a feminine state. A circle is the divine sacred geometry of feminine, right? So when we sit in a circle, we're all equal. If you have a square, you're not equal. Square is a masculine state. And so I really believe from my heart of hearts, this is why the leaders have drawn the word church off the ancient word kirk, which means circle, and they have boxed it into square buildings because they use the compass, right? And so this diamond shape is also a square, if you think about it, links to Saturn. But there's duality in everything. So I just don't want you to be afraid of a shape or, this is where we get accusation. I'll speak about the position of non-judgment too and the Hertz frequency that sits at. Because when we're talking about energy, we are talking about emotions. I think if you've been following me on my page for any time, you should understand that that's the root of what I'm speaking into daily. No matter how I present it to you, we're talking about you manifesting using the thoughts and emotions that you're holding within your temple body. And we need to get out of holding the trauma state so that we climb Jacob's ladder and we get to a higher conscious state of manifesting with powerful high vibrational frequencies. Now, why do I use 432 Hertz instruments only? I only sell those unless somebody is really insistent that they want 440 Hertz bowls. I will question them gently just to see the why. I've really only had that happen once. It was a sound healer too, which shocked me. And when I offered him a treatment, I was shocked because when I was calling him back, I looked into his eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul, and there was no whites in his eyes. They were black. And as I wake up, somebody that I'm working with, I usually try to connect with the soul eye. I've done videos on that before, it is a specific eye which links into the right hemisphere. But when I call them back, I connect soul to soul and I try to channel love in. Love is light. It's all interconnected, and that person ran like about out of hell. Never heard from that person again. I just sit there in a little state of shock actually, but a position of no judgment, because the more we realize what is going on and what has gone on with the blending of the DNA and the Anunnaki being the mad scientists, and yet they can't create. These fallen angels cannot create. Creator has removed that ability because they've gotten so low vibrational that they are disconnected from source, that they need you to co-create for them. And that's why I want to speak about this boldly. Boldly. So the frequencies in the range of 60 to 100 Hertz contribute to negative psychological and physiological states, including anxiety and worry. Now, if mad scientists know this stuff, they know how to manipulate sonics, right? They know these ancient things because they are shapeshifters, and you have aspects of the light. Now, when the shapeshifters are trying to consume your energy, remember, all we have is energy here. You are the energy. You are the ball of energy. They need to consume it either literally or energetically. And the way they consume it energetically is that it's called loosh. They drink in your fear. They cannot vibe with higher vibe emotional frequencies. In fact, that makes them run, makes them hide. That's why they have bunkers underground, etc. But your thoughts and your emotions, and think of it collectively with all of us, right, affect what's happening in this dimension. Not just this dimension either. There are dimensions, many dimensions. Might have to turn off. I've got some weird frequencies going there, unless they sound good. Yeah, I started with some angelics, which is what I was playing last night. And so I digress, because this is a topic that I could do a million videos on, and I probably will, because that's just who I am. But what I'd like you to study about is how to empower yourself and your family to lift your vibration using ancient tools such as singing bowls, tuning forks. They've got to be 432 hertz. 4 plus 3 plus 2 equals 9. The God frequency is 963 hertz. Tesla was showing us, it's all to do with the 369. So we get to 963, and it's these combinations which are the solfeggio frequencies, and those things were hidden by the priests in every single religion, which I think come from the Anunnaki. So do different thoughts emit different frequencies? Yes, they do. We have Hawkins' chart. I'll pop it up again in my stories. It's a regular favorite of mine. I'm going to read out some to you to show you how different thoughts and different emotions, well, thought leads to emotion, but first of all, we have the wave, and the wave that leads you to the thought isn't necessarily yours. Now, pause this and hear me on this, because the Anunnaki and the fallen ones, they have the technology to manipulate your energy. And so if you are just receiving every thought that pops in as yours, as opposed to being something that's seeded there or something that's manufactured by a collective, then you're not running on wisdom yet, because a thought needs to be meditated on in order to become an emotional energy, and we manifest using emotional energies. So you need, and Christ said this, take every thought captive to love. So if that wasn't possible, I don't believe that would have been said. Have you ever experienced some horrific thoughts popping into your head that are contrary to who you know yourself to be? And yet if you act on them, so you've got thought, energy, emotion, and then the actions, which is the do. And then all the manifestations that's happening around that process. This is how we co-create. Co-creational ability is only available to those that have the spark of the divine in them. The fallen ones have lost their spark, which is why they manipulate you. So we are made out of energy. Just a ball of energy buzzing. Some of us repel others. Light can do that to density. Some of us are triggering others because what we're showing them in our energy field is what they need to work on. Energy attracts energy, right? So if a person needs to work on themselves, they'll be attracted, and then they may not want to do the work, the inner work, and so they get repelled. This is how it works. We have 7 subtle bodies. Most people identify just with the physical body. The physical body is the densest part of us. In fact, we will be using frequencies as medicine. 100%. We already are. We're going back to the ancient ways of having expansive wisdom and understanding of how the hertz levels work. Because if I play the right hertz level, I can target into a certain disease type. I can target into a certain emotional type. 432 hertz works actually with the frequency of nature, which is why it takes us back to this love and this tranquil state. When you listen to 432 hertz, all your worries drift away. It actually repels stress levels. So imagine doing that in a group, in a circle, and how energy affects energy. You are creating a beautiful vortex to pull in higher vibrational beings. We literally are becoming the temple. And some of us are meeting up in small groups. But what I've seen in my visions and dreams is that we get to celebrating who we are in the divine in huge congregations. It's not praise like you've been taught in a church state. It is energetics. It is just being who we were born to be. Even though our DNA has been manipulated, we are choosing the light. And what happens then is all of the higher vibrational beings come in to celebrate us. And their energies intermingle with ours, just like you can see in density. If somebody's into addiction, the energies of lower frequency beings are intermingling with them. A lot of what's coming out of their mouth when they're angry, for example, isn't who they really are at soul level, right? You see how energy attracts energy. And so we don't hate on the person, we have compassion for the person, but we can recognize that if I put myself in a group of lower vibrational beings, that I'm going to pull my own Hertz levels down. So I'll go through the chart a bit. Shame is 20 Hertz. It's right at the bottom of the Hawkins chart. And so if you are feeling shame, humiliation, feeling miserable, despising people, or wanting to eliminate somebody else, you are right smack bang at the bottom where the entities need you to be. I just need to say that really bluntly. And then above that, surprisingly, we have guilt. And guilt uses the energies of blame, evil, vindictive behavior, destruction. It's pretty similar actually, isn't it? And then above it, we've got apathy, which is 50 Hertz, which is despair, hopelessness, condemnation, abdication. And then we have grief above it. It's 75. Now 75 sounds like we're climbing the chart, but we're still a long way off being healthy or being disease-free, because energy creates disease. Dis-ease. We're not at ease. We're in our trauma state. We're at the bottom of the roots of the tree. We probably haven't processed it yet. It is subconscious operations. When we've been hurt, we want another to feel hurt, but this isn't love state, right? Everything in a higher ascended state is love. Love is actually what brings us healing. So we have above the grief, fear, which is 100 Hertz, which is fears running in anxiety, a frightened state, punitive state, or withdrawal. And I'm so pleased that you're resonating and getting goosebumpy about, because energy does speak to the hair. The hair carries the vibrational frequency. It is the crystalline state. It's silica, and I like to sort of bluntly call it your antennas for the spirit. So we can tell what type of energy is in the room or what type of energy is in a person if we get to listen to our beautiful temple bodies. So we climb the ladder again. This is what I call Jacob's ladder. Remember Jacob, when the angel hit Jacob, when he was wrestling the angel, his hip was dislocated. That's because where these lower dense emotions sit within the body state. Now, we have many bodies. We have 7 bodies. Hopefully I'll get to that. Sometimes I don't like to speak too long because I know that oversharing, it's a lot to digest. So we'll just see where this flows. So we climb the ladder. We're up to desire now, which sits at Hertz level 125, which involves emotions like craving, or we crave attention, right? Or disappointment, or denying the truth, and enslavement. So you're a slave to self, actually. You're a slave to your denser emotions. And then we have anger at 150 Hertz. Now, none of these emotions are bad. They are the human experience, but to sit in neutrality means that we're not coming into agreement with the energy. I'm not identifying it as a part of my personality. I'm not making excuses in a victim state. I'm not saying, oh, my dad did X, Y, Z, and therefore I'm entitled to feel ashamed, fearful, angry, and prideful, right? So that would be the energies that were passed on to me by either epigenetics, if it's happened by an abuser in your family, or by, a random stranger that has hurt you. And it's all part of the learning curve of climbing out of the pit, actually. So pride sits at 175, surprisingly. Now, Leviathan energy is pride. The systems are run with pride and ego. It's sitting in the yellow, in the solar plexus. So we've climbed up from red, root chakra, to sacral, which is where we co-create from. So if we're co-creating in the orange spectrum of light, in that energetic point of the body, we're co-creating with anger, desire, fear. You can see how this gets messy, and the entities just love it. I would like us to consciously make an agreement. The 963, you mean, or 432? You want to hear 432? 432, all the ancient instruments were made out. Think of harps. I can pop some 432 hertz on, just bear with me. Thank you for your... what I'm playing at the moment is 777, which is the angelics. And I did that for the first time last night, and a lot of the team in the circle had some beautiful dreams and visions. Let's just see what 432 hertz. And if the hertz don't sound good to you, or they're not soothing to you, keep moving. Pick another one. Be intuitive about it, all of it. Okay, so 432 hertz. Let me know if it's too loud. So 432 hertz was what all the ancient musicians played with, including King David, to get rid of the demons. And all modern music was adjusted to 440 hertz. That's 432. So 432, thank you for that. Yeah, so 432 links into nature, which should be peace and tranquility. So then we start to climb up to the heart region. Green as the light spectrum. Remember, light is energy. You are essentially and effectively a light being. In the matter state, body state, this is the denser part of us, the stone part, the earth part. All of the etymology of the word body and show us this actually. You can find so much by looking up the meaning of the word in the ancient pictograms and the ancient languages such as Sanskrit, Hebrew, Aramaic, because they were pictogram ways of developing language. So neutrality sits at the heart, and we start with reason and integrity. The light spectrum is green, and neutrality sits at 250. This is where I encourage you to not be judgmental. If somebody hurts you, or somebody, even to the elite, because we overstep them energetically by being compassionate and by not being judgmental. When we match their judgment, our hertz levels drop and we lose our sovereign hertz level state. So neutrality sits with trust, satisfactory feelings, enabling things for the divine, and release. So it's kind of, see how it's such a different mindset? It's everything's happening for me, not to me. I attract vibrationally in a mirror state what I'm vibrating in my auric state. We get then climbing the ladder to 310, which is willingness, and this includes the energies of optimism, hopefulness, being inspired, and intention. These are co-creational feelings, if you get my drift, and they all come from where the magnetic field operates from your heart, which is where we manifest from, actually. What we emit our light from our heart state. Our Taurus field. Acceptance is 350, really high vibrational, and this is forgiveness, being harmonious, merciful, and transcendence. And then we're climbing up into the blue and purple realms, which is the upper room, or this is heaven's state here in the mind, as above, so below. We have reason at 400, love at 500, it's really powerful, and joy at 540, then peace at 600, and enlightenment at 700 to 1000. Isn't that beautiful? Which is pure consciousness. So you've got the energies of purple, and you have the frequencies above 700, which is why the angelic's frequency is 777 hertz. And so we're climbing out of 666, right? 666 to 777. We have 7 subtle bodies, which are the physical, which is the densest. We have the etheric body, the astral body, the lower mental body, which is where your emotional state happens, your upper mental, your Buddha, and your Atma body. So when we are talking about healing with frequencies, we technically are not working on the body, we are working within the other subtle bodies using healing hertz frequencies. And you don't have to even be a practitioner. Some practitioners might hate me for speaking this truth, but the honest truth is that Anybody can do this. And I feel my life purpose is to help you lift your vibration and take you back to what you already know. Give you the wisdom keys, because at a higher state of consciousness, you know these things. You were sung into existence, into the body state. I want you to recognize your future role as a healer or a doctor or an energy worker, or as somebody that's able to shift the vibration within a room. You know, you're already doing it, right? You know how you feel when you walk into a room of grumbling people, or you're working in an office with a gossip. You know, it all starts at the top, right? Whatever the rules are at the top, they sort of tinker on down. And whoever's holding the energy field is influencing the room. And so I would like to gift you your empowerment back to nurture your intuition, to use Hertz frequencies with intention. Even if you don't have an instrument, you can use your phone. And I will say this, that you don't even need to hear it for it to have an influence, because it's working on your subtle bodies. A lot of people that start sound healing, they come in all gung-ho, trying to just, you know, make a ruckus and have it too loud. This can actually put your body into shock. And some people are much more sensitive to energies, or they've suffered more. And so it's not uncommon in a healing session to see the body reacting a bit like a dolphin. Those that do energetic work will know exactly what I'm talking about here. And why does sound change us so much? It's because sound affects our breathing, and breath is also a water density. Now, water, your body is made from water. It's water that actually holds the light field energies. Water holds vibration, or some of the ancient texts talk about water holding spirit. Think of Christ walking on the water. He was activated in his light body to be walking on the water as a spirit. Yes, spirits can walk through walls. Spirits aren't bound by the matter state. They're not working vibrationally as the physical body. They are working out of the other subtle energy bodies, because they've gotten to a higher vibrational state. And even your hearing, I just needed to mention that your hearing is a primal state to let you know whether there's something there to be afraid of. And so, wouldn't it make sense, if you had knowledge of the science of this, to use sounds to keep humanity at a denser state of consciousness, to keep them bound in fear, to keep them from knowing that they co-create using emotional energies, and therefore they're stuck, right? So now think about your entertainment, and what's that triggering you to at a subconscious level? What are the lyrics in your music? What's the backward masking happening there? What frequency? The music that we're listening to is 440 hertz, which equals 8. And 8 is still in duality. 8 can be abundance or manifestation, or 8 can be corruption. And thank you, Angela. That's really nice. I miss seeing you. And when we're stuck in, and you'll see this drawn as a serpent swallowing its tail in the ancient esoteric knowledge. So we're stuck. Like, it's literally, we loop around in circles until we make the pattern conscious, and we choose to step out of the energy of past hurts. Hurts and hurts, they link in together. I've got so much written here, but I'm just sort of picking things to talk about. Nurture your intuition, discipline your mind, take every thought captive to a measuring stick of love. This is acting in the Christ energy, which goes up your spine, as without, so within. And if it isn't loving, you, only you, can do something about it. Nobody's going to rescue you from your own energy. This is your sovereignty. The problem is when we're presented with an external savior, and I say this with love to some of my friends that are still not comprehending this, is that you avoid doing the inner work. You want somebody else to do the cleaning up of your own house. And the house is where the divine lives. Use 432 Hertz sound. There's plenty on YouTube. If you don't vibe with it, move along. Because as your energy field shifts, you'll outgrow songs. I've experienced this over the last 7 years. What I used to get to a state of euphoric bliss state with now no longer works. I've become a Hertz junkie, chasing higher vibrational feelings. And I manifest with those, even when there is chaos around me. Now hear me on this, manifestors and those coaches that love to speak about manifestation. If you are looking for bliss state outside of you, it's an elusive dream. You will never catch it. There's nothing wrong with owning things or speaking about money or having things, but if you need that to find your joy, you've missed the point. Those things, you may achieve them because you're a powerful manifester, but they will never bring you joy because you're working back to front. You are deplete. This is ego chasing things to have you feel better. You've got to work it back to front using frequencies. In a nutshell, these dark entities know that they have taught you things back to front using religion, using programming like movies and the television. The television was launched during One World War or just after, and the radio was launched in the First World War. Think about that. Ancient technologies, and now we have the phones. Ancient sonics. Nothing is new under the sun. We've had this all happen before. I'm going to read you a quote from Manly P. Hall. All things manifesting in the lower worlds exist first in the intangible rings of the upper spheres, so that creation is in truth. The process of making tangible the intangible by extending the intangible into various vibratory states. I'm speaking truth to you. Everything that vibrates within you is creating your external reality. So imagine if just a small bunch of humanity catch on to this ancient knowledge, which I believe is wisdom. In a nutshell, we can beat the dark magicians who are trying to keep you trapped in lower density. We can literally love them out of our sphere, our realm. They know that human consciousness co-creates powerfully together, creating reality, and that's why they keep you in this trap. They know that what you base your mind on becomes your belief system, which then amplifies with those that you mix with, because we're energetic beings. And they have instilled in the collective consciousness of the masses that they are projecting into exactly what they want to create. It's time for rebellion. And rebellion means just saying no. I am sitting in my sovereign state. We all know this energetically, that laziness kills ambition, jealousy kills your peace, comparison steals your joy, anger takes your wisdom, and fear literally kills you. We know this, right? And so if we just pull together as humanity and just love each other in all of our differences and use the measuring stick that's golden. Gold is a symbol for consciousness. Gold is when we're talking singing bowls, the 7 metals that are mixed within the bowls, one of the elements is gold. Each element links to a planetary state. Each element links to a subtle body state. each element of metal links to the planetaries, which many will say are the fallen angels or the energies of such. All the ancients worship the planets. They're still doing it. These elite worship Saturn. Saturn, the black box, this masculine square that has us trapped. If we sit in a constant state of peace, joy, happiness, and let it just expand out of our magnetic field, we will change things overnight. We are the Hertz frequencies that are much higher. Joy is 540. Peace is 600 Hertz. We are changing the tune of the universe. I placed in my stories today something so beautiful, and I recognize that systems are falling and collapsing, but we do need systematic things as humans to feel safe. But in my stories, you'll see that in some countries, they're already playing singing bowls in hospitals. This is us changing Earth again. Changing Earth again. It might seem like you're not doing much, but it's your intentions with the frequencies. It's the thoughts marrying into the energies. It's the light spilling out of the bowls. Because our bodies are made up of pure energy. According to what you're holding. Sound waves influence our emotional state and our health. Harmonious vibrations realign the energetic body. Disharmonious disrupt the field, and the fields are ripe. We are being separated. Earth's spirit body, as above, so below. We have an ethereal body, so too does Mother Earth. We are separating density from spirit body, higher vibrational from matter, to Earth's birthing and shifting like the splitting of an atom. Sound frequencies influence you at an atomic state. The cognitive triangle is influenced: the thought, the feeling, and the behavior. We act on behaviors according to belief systems. We act on energies according to what we've told ourselves is true. If I have given myself permission to be angry as my identity, then I will be acting angrily every day. But it's not who I am in my natural state. It is disharmonious as an energy. In a quiet environment, you can literally cancel out and silence unwanted noises. And so, separating self like I did today and just being still without distraction will help you understand, is this my energy or is this energies from the external field? I am everything that I ingest, everything that I think about, everything that I'm programmed for, everything that I listen to, everything that I watch through the windows to my soul, everything that I hang around with becomes part of my energy field. And so it's not selfish to separate self from lower density. It's integral to this sacred work. It's all perspective, actually. It's the end, said the caterpillar. And then the butterfly birthed and said, no, it's not. It's the beginning. The beginning of beauty, the beginning of a healed state, the beginning of desiring better for this earth. That's not selfish. That's magical. The Latin word for emotion shows us this. It is emotere, which means energy in motion. In and out of itself, emotion is neutral. Emotion is the human experience. But if you have identified with the emotion, it has become your character. And this is where it gets messy. We are operating on the subconscious mind program of who we believe we really are. We're hiding the energies from others because of shame, which sits at 20 hertz right at the bottom of the plane. And in that, it's not a position of safety. It's a position of co-creation, sure, but only of chaos. As a range from 1 to 100, anything below 200 is considered unhealthy. This is where disease kicks in. So I'll go back to the original chart. 200 starts at the frequency or emotional state of courage in the solar plexus, in the yellow light spectrum. You are a light being. Choose courage. Courage to step out of the old programming. Courage to step out of the old ways. Courage to step out of pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, and shame. The energies, the emotions that sit under that in the chart. Stepping out of Leviathan energy, where you've been manipulated by the dark magicians, by the rulers that need your chaos energy as their food. Just to give you another example, I want you to just think about the freedom of surrendering all these old stories that you told yourself. How good you'd feel to just be courageous enough to turn up as you and know that if you repel some in that, then they're not your people. They're the wrong frequency. All of this is scientifically proven now. It is quantum physics. It's amazing what we're learning, that what we focus on, we energize. And so if you want to shift something quickly, be solution focused, not problem focused. That includes shifting things in this entity density. Be solution focused, not problem focused, and think about what little things you could do each day using Hertz healing frequencies to heal those around you. This is exciting. We are co-creating with ancient wisdom and knowledge. It's super exciting that can be as easy as playing a tune off your phone, walking past a body of water, or walking through a forest, singing if you're feeling love, joy, peace. Powerful stuff. Shifting the vibration of everything that's vibrating in the dense state, because most of humanity are operating through fear or anger or shame. These tiny little things that you're doing daily make a huge collective difference. What will you do today? If you're interested in reaching out to learn about my sound healing masterclass, I'm happy to do that online too. We can just tap in even on Instagram. I can talk you through it. You get an ebook. Talk you through the simple ways of empowering yourself to use Hertz frequencies to heal self, shift the energy in your home or wherever you may be traveling. This is exciting stuff, guys, and it's really simple. And anyone that joins up for the masterclass, I offer a 10% discount off singing bowls. It's my goal to get one bowl into every single house, because I see these as amazing tools that shift things quickly, just as Spirit showed me. If you missed the start of this video, please go back and watch the start, please. And I really appreciate you being here. This is Michelle from Echo Circle, and I'm grateful that you're choosing to shift the energy. We do that by shifting our thoughts and emotions. Lots of love.